Hey everybody, we're back with another episode of How to Play Minetest. In this episode, we will introduce a topic that I'm going to be discussing over the next several episodes, which is how to build a fictional world. To avoid any copyright issues, I'm actually going to be using a book that I wrote called The Mountain Road. That's available on Kindle and also on Nook. And it takes place, as you can see on the map here, in this mountainous region. There's a city here, Riverhaven, with some landmarks along the way to the Builder's Temple, and then over here to Glorydale, and there's also a toll road. Now, this is a very simple map. There's not a whole lot to it, but so far I've already spent 8 hours on this world trying to get this ready, or far enough along that I could start this video. So I will say right up front that if you are going to build a fictional world, it is going to take a large time commitment in order to make that happen. So to start out with, I built this micro workshop, super tiny. I've got the bed, the furnace, chest, the craft guide, and a well, all in this 4x4 cube. Very tiny space here. And this is marking where Riverhaven is. And I've already built a city well. I'll be adding other buildings here from the book. And so that'll be Riverhaven in this area. I come up here, and this is where the two roads split. Toll road to the right, mountain road to the left. So what I'm going to do is take you through a real quick tour here of what I've done so far. A lot of this looks like it's, nice flat land here. I'll enable full view mode. See, it looks like a nice flat piece of ground. I actually had to level this out. This was a valley. And I'll hop down here to show you. So clear back in there was a valley, and it just keeps on going down. So I had to take time to get all this dirt and pull it up here and make it nice and level so that it fits with the map that I showed you earlier. So this is the first landmark right here, which is a bridge, and I'm really condensing this down. The mountain road is supposed to take 3 days in the book, and it takes about 1 to get through to Glorydale. Minetest time. So we have a bridge that comes across here, and here's our next marker, which is the rock slide. So right through here I'll have a whole bunch of rocks tumbling down here, and again I had to level a pathway out here. Coming up this side, this is where the ice swamp will be, which is one of the pivotal points in the book. Come up this way. And again I had to build all this out. This is all hollow underneath here. Get up here, there's going to be a campsite right here, which is mentioned again in the book, as is this waterfall, which has a secret passage around behind it. So here you can see the back side of the waterfall. Come around here, again this is another spot that just dives off into nowhere that I had to level out and make it look somewhat natural for how the book needs it to be. And we come over this way, and right here I've kind of mapped out a area for the temple and the gardens around the temple. From here we turn back this way, and this part is going to take a lot of work because in the book the back side of this trail runs right along the top of a mountain ridge, and at the moment it's just a platform that goes out over nothing, so I'm going to have to spend a lot of time redoing the landscape right here. And I didn't pick this spot on a whim. I really looked around on this world to find somewhere that would kind of work, and this was the closest thing I could find. So then right here we're going down the top of the mountain, so all this stuff on the right and left is going to have to be trimmed back so that it matches. And this is going to be the location of Glorydale, which again I'm going to have to trim a lot of this outside area back so that there's room for the buildings. The toll road goes off this way, and as you can see is much flatter, which is why they charge for it. Come over this way. There's another spot I left open so you could see how much work this has taken. So this side, you can see I've sort of landscaped in. The grass hasn't quite grown back yet on this, where if we come around this side over here, you can see how deep it was underneath. And that's just something you have to do if you're going to build a fictional world. You have to take what Minetest gives you and then go from there and decide, alright, where's my main ground level going to be so that my ups and downs kind of match with everything else. This location was another one that was kind of hard to do. There's the toll booth on the toll road right here, and at a certain point in the book, when they look up the mountain, they can actually see the Builder's Temple way up top there. You can see I had to locate the Builder's Temple in a place that it could be seen from here without too much work in between to make it work with the book. And in the book it's actually shown between two mountain peaks. Here it's just on the top of the mountain peak, and that's just a concession I had to make by building it in Minetest here. So we'll follow back this way. You can see I had to cut right through here, which, you know, not as big a deal. And we're back at River Haven. So as you can see, we took that whole tour in one Minetest day, starting at about 5 a.m. and it's just barely reaching noon. So this is much smaller time-wise than what it would take in the book, which if you read you'll find that out. But you can see how I started landscaping everything so that things fit roughly with how I had it on the map. And also I started marking out places, either with signposts like this, or with River Haven I built my workshop here. And then the waterfalls and the river, waterfall and the river that we passed earlier, I built both of those already, so I could put them roughly where I wanted them to be, and then I can manipulate them from there. So that's just giving you guys a heads up on what's coming. I will spend probably an episode on each area. So I'll build River Haven and then take you through all the buildings here. I'll finish the area around the bridge and maybe do the rock slide in one episode, and then the ice swamp and the waterfall in an episode, and then the Builder's Temple in an episode, so that you can see each individual piece as I build it. And I'll give kind of a timestamp of, okay, I am this many hours into this project, so that you can see roughly how much time it would take. And again, this is a relatively small map, and this is even shrunk down from the size it was in the book. So it'll be a good exercise for me, and also show you guys, and hopefully be helpful to you if you should plan to do something. I know there's an entire server in Minecraft dedicated to Lord of the Rings, and they're doing a real live 2-scale Lord of the Rings map, which is insane in my mind. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode and gave you some ideas if you have ambitions to build a fictional world in Minetest, and give you kind of a heads up of some of the pitfalls and things you need to look out for. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those below in the comments section, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.